Hello, everybody. Welcome to part two of Killer Love. Sorry, I'm a little bit sleepy still this morning, though. I actually feeling pretty good. I took two melatonin yesterday and I slept pretty good. But this is probably gonna be my last stream until the beginning of next week, as my work week starts tonight. So it's like 12-hour shifts and it's no fun. But anyways, let's get back to where we were. Dear Diary, I found him. It was beautiful. It was like fate. It was fate. As soon as I came to the city, I caught a scent in the air. A little, but mostly I smelled homeless people and gasoline. I thought it was gonna be like, oh yeah, you smelled like homeless people and gasoline. Why did you go all the way out here, Jack? You love nature, Smelly Pines where we grew up. I was ready to spend weeks looking for you, Jack. Or months, years if I had to. I even got a job at the hospital here. They're understaffed, so it was easy. But there you were in the first store I went to. I didn't even go in and look for you. Fate, fate, fate. But you were a little strange. Surely you recognize me. I haven't changed that much, have I? I mean, it's been a while and have tried to make myself pretty for you in every way that I can think of, but you knew it was me, right? I knew it was you. You haven't forgotten me. But were you pretending, playing a game? Yes, that must be it. Well, I'll let to wait and see what you're doing, dear, but I've been a patient girl for far too long. Oh no. Oh, dear diary, Friday, Jack Friday. I know he changed his name to that, but it's just so funny, isn't it? We'll have to change it back, Jack, for when we're married. I want the real one to follow my first name, Jack Friday. It made me giggle when I saw it in your employee records, darling. I just had a peek, nothing more, just to see where you live. I wanted to follow you home at first, but then I thought, hey, wouldn't it be insanely romantic if the next time I saw you lived right next door to each other? Oh my gosh. This lady's crazy. I know you're playing your little game of you don't know me anymore, but that's not too much, is it? Being neighbors? You won't be angry, right? Even if it makes you angry, I have to at least do this, right? I can't wait anymore. I'm tired of being by myself. I've waited this long. I've prepared for you so much. Maybe you won't be mad. Please don't be mad, please. P.S. One other thing, darling. The street where you live, isn't it a terrible part of town? Run down and cheap, even dangerous? I haven't been here for long, but I think that's right. Is that part of your game too? And working in a store. That must be it as well. Someone like you should never work there. Instead, you should be a. Gosh, I can't even imagine what. And isn't that perfect? I don't want you. Oh, I don't want you working anywhere. I want you all for me. Sorry, I can't read today. Dear Diary, the street is worse than I thought. God, the smell. Do you really know what you're doing, Jack? No, no, I shouldn't doubt you. I know. The rent is cheap, at least very cheap. But more important than that or anything else, there was a vacancy right next door to your apartment. I can't wait to move in. We'll be neighbors. I'll see so much of you, it will make me drunk. Dear Diary, what a beautiful dump. I said this to the landlord when I brought my things here. He thought I was complaining. He said I should have checked out the apartment before I rented it. He's an idiot. There could have been a swarm of rats or roaches living in the apartment, or crack addicts for that matter, and I wouldn't give a darn. But still, I can't keep it dirty forever. I have to practice my homemaking skills. Time to make this dump a home. Dear Diary, just back from a quick jog. Gotta stay in shape, and the brownies are just about done. I know, I know. I should have kept an eye on them, but I've been doing this for long enough, you know. The brownies are perfect. Not burnt, not raw, just right. Hope he likes them. This is getting pretty interesting, guys. Jack, I don't know if I can go on. Who is this girl? I'm the one for you, the only one for you, and yet you. I know this is part of your plan, but you didn't have to do it this way. Why are you being so cruel? I have to work now. I don't care. I'll go sleep. Dear diary, I cried all the bad feelings out. Things don't seem nearly as bad now. Jack is testing me, so I have to show him what it takes. This is nothing at all. I can do this. Dear Diary, I met her today. Grace. Oh, she doesn't get in the way. She's a sweet girl, but she's clumsy. She dropped a plate, my plate too, of cookies, and there were cookies and broken pieces of porcelain everywhere. I'm pretty clumsy too, I guess. I cut myself on a shard when I tried to pick it up. Jack came in just as I got cut. He must have sensed I was hurt. There was a lot of blood for a wound so small. The blood reminded me of that time. It always does. I showed it to Jack. He looked like he was going to vomit. Great acting, Jack. I love you. Dear Diary, I've gotten better at playing along with Jack's little game. See him a lot more now everywhere I go. Nearly half of those times, I'm not even trying to make our paths cross. Fate. I must have seen Grace a lot more. She's always asked me to go somewhere with her or to chat, and she's always coming over to my apartment without Jack. She's become a real bother, honestly, but I act nice. That girl tells me things about Jack after all. Though, of course, she doesn't know anything about him that I don't. That's because she really doesn't know Jack. But now, I know what he's pretending to be like. He told Grace that he has amnesia. It's a little unoriginal, Jack, don't you think? That's okay, though. She believes you. That dumb little... Dear Diary, I'm troubled. Starting to think Jack is not pretending. What if he really has forgotten all about me? No, I can't have that. I need a sign, Jack. Just one little sign so that I know you remember. One sign. Anything is fine. Dear Diary, Jack doesn't remember me. I'm pretty sure of it now. He doesn't remember anything. Darn. But that's a good thing. He hasn't been acting cold on purpose. I'll give him his memory a little jog, and that'll be that. Good as new. But that also means that he's serious about that Grace girl. We can't have that. No, no. I'm starting to see her true colors. She's a filthy seductress, all right. She's also an idiot. She invited me for dinner tomorrow at her apartment. Their apartment. Her and Jack's apartment. The apartment they're sharing together without me. August 16th. Terrible, really awkward. Terrible day, really awkward. Hannah was hovering around me all day. I swear she was here for more than 2 shifts. Yeah, I think more. Yeah, it is. Just a little spelling error. There's been a few like that, but I'm not perfect with English either. I still really enjoy this game. How the bell does that work? How the bell? Or is how the hell? Huh. Now I'm a little bit confused, but that's okay. I couldn't write it all, so maybe it's that, because he couldn't write. She's long gone now, and it's after midnight. Yeah, this is intentional. I guess I should mark this as the 17th and not the 16th. Oh, who cares? Now I have to write in the dark, but that's fine. I don't see it being a problem. Yeah, I get it now. That's my bad on that. So not long after, did I write about how Anna came to see me at this store that one time? Yeah, I did. Not long after that, Grace invited Anna over for dinner. She could have told me before asking Anna. Not that I would have said no. I didn't have an excuse to say no. But I mean, she only told me about the dinner a few hours before. Yes, I was preparing for a few relaxed evenings. And all of a sudden, Grace says we should start making dinner. Oh no, I forgot to tell you, Jack. I shouldn't be so bitter and childish, but people forget it happens. She didn't mean anything bad by it. It still rubbed me the wrong way, though. Anna was going to invade my home and be there for hours, and I'm pretty sure I had every right to be angry about that. No, I'm sure I should have sent her packing the first time I saw her, and then when she moved in next to us, and a million times after that, I should have. The fault is mine. Okay, so things are getting kind of twisted perspective-wise, I think. Perspective-wise, I think. So yeah, dinner. This is pretty interesting. The food tastes amazing, Jack. Thanks, I barely made anything. That's not true, is it? You were in charge of the rice. Yeah, the rice. It ended up mushy. I think it's delicious. And I ate it like it was the tastiest thing in the world. Oh my god. This girl's like, wow. An idea popped into my mind. If I bore her, she might leave early. Thanks, but the chicken is much better. And that's incredible how you can make anything decent in the oven. We have, Grace. Oh, don't talk about the oven, Jack. It's embarrassing. I bet you never seen a greasier oven, Anna. I swear to God. I try to clean it, but nothing works. I don't know what the previous owners did to make it that dirty. And that's not even the biggest problem, is it, you said? Yes. The light in the oven barely works. And don't get me started on the heating. It's so sketchy. Yeah, all of that. And you still managed to make something this good. What do you say, Anna? It's tasty. It reminds me of home. Have you tried remembering what home was like, Jack? I swallowed and choked and coughed. What was with that all of a sudden? Anna smiled and went on eating. I was just wondering. No, I've tried. No, I have not tried to remember what home was like. I don't see why I'd have to. I'm fine without it. Alright. It's a shame, though. Though. Tough. I'm Jack. Yeah. What is it, Grace? I'm with Anna on this one. You are? Yes. Even after you said we were fine with me deciding what goes on in my head? I'm trying to think what's best for you. That's right. You can't spend your life running away from the past. Face it now. Be a man. It's not healthy to look so much lock so much of yourself away it can't be. You have to agree, Jack. I didn't reply as eviscerating. I was eviscerating a chicken drumstick, and I didn't tell you this, but at night, at least once a week, Jack. That's enough. I banged my fist on the table, then was immediately ashamed that I lost my temper, but I couldn't back down. This has got to do with me and me only. Stay the hell out of it, both of you. Do you understand? Why are you so? And it's no good. I've never gotten this angry before. I need to be alone. I walked off to another room, but that didn't help. I could still hear their murmurs and their whisperings. They were talking about me. I dressed in a hurry. I swear if Jack ever just ran away and just started a whole new life when this happened, it would just be perfect. Huh? What are you? Are you going out, Jack? I nodded. Have fun, Anna says. Wait, don't go. I'm sorry, but I keep insisting so much. You know I'm trying to help, right? Jack says yes. And please don't be mad. Couldn't stop being angry. It was stronger than me. Can you do one thing for me? Just so I did all I could. Do what? Can you say? Can you say you're fine with? No, please say that you don't want to remember. Can you do that for me? Of course. I hesitated longer than I thought I would. Oh, hey there, Vera. I hope you're doing well this morning. Suddenly it struck me I was being childish as hell, but in the end, my anger and my stubbornness won over. I don't want to remember. There, are you happy now? Wanted things to stay as they were. That's all I've ever wanted, for nothing to change. Because for once, I was happy. I, well, I'm sorry. You should be. Damn, Jack. Jack's pretty, mean. August 17th, I came back hours after a little drinking and a little pointless wandering. The apartment was empty, her things were gone, but I only realized that after I read the letter. What? The letter was on our table next to our half-finished dinner. There was a key next to the letter to her key to the apartment. Oh, I remember the letter word for word, so why didn't I write it down? Wouldn't that be fun? Jack, it said, I can't stay with you anymore. You're only going to make yourself more miserable, and I can't help you, and I don't want to watch you do this to yourself. I pray there's someone who can help you like I couldn't, and I hope you'll be happy. Goodbye. Grace didn't need to sign the message. I would have recognized those neat letters anywhere. I've seen the same handwriting during our brief year together and on dozens, if not hundreds, of little notes. Shift schedules, reminders to buy snacks or milk, things like that. There were, in fact, at least a half dozen of the yellow post-its she used still around the apartment. Seeing them hurt. Oh. There were a lot of other little things Grace hadn't taken with her, too. Socks, pants, a few undershirts, a scarf, one pair of shoes. Sweater she really liked, too. She would have never worn the sweater while napping in the evening. Please don't tell me you're going to dress up like her, Jack. You're not that weird, are you, buddy? Actually, you know what? That would be a hell of an ending. It was all evidence of how much of a hurry she had been in to get away from me. Now I know better. So she was probably kidnapped by Anna. Morning, everyone. The patients all greet her. I do too. Well, well. I'm happy to see you're finally stopped being Mr. Grumpy. Well, you know. Do you feel better? Does the leg still hurt? I'm a little better, I guess. At peace. That's great. You'll be up on your feet in no time, I'm sure. Feel free to come back home. I laugh like hell. Anna probably doesn't see what's so funny. She smiles vacantly. I guess she does love me in her own way. It doesn't matter though. Remembering the pain she caused me has given me conviction. My heart is set on killing her. You know, guys, if I get a choice to like end up with Anna instead, I'm probably still gonna go for it over Grace. I'm just a sucker for dark hair though. My health is vastly improving, doctor's word says, and I feel it. I don't want to wake up at night so much anymore choking on pain. And I don't get angry as anymore that I have to chew with my own fingers. Oh, so I don't end up shouting. Damn, I really am at peace. I know what to do. And I know that I have to do it. I feel like I don't have a choice in the matter. I'm a train going down a set of tracks at a few hundred miles per hour, no turn, no brakes. Whatever happens will happen. It's strangely calming. For now, I'll keep on riding. I know it's a good point to stop. After Grace left, I spent the first night alone on the kitchen floor. It was where my legs happened to give in under me. After hours of walking back and forth in the apartment, I had paced around like a cage animal looking for under pellets, carpets, poking my head in any closets. I don't know why. Maybe I thought I'd find her there. I do have that pacing problem too, oddly. Just over random stuff, though. I woke up in the afternoon with the blankets over me. I thought that Grace had done it, that she'd be coming back. She hadn't. I guess it must have been Anna. I didn't go to work. I didn't eat. I don't remember drinking any water, but I must have. And I must have slept a lot, too. It turned out I needed Grace more than I thought I did. Certainly more than she needed me. I was all alone that day, that night, and the day after, too, right up to the evening. That's when she made her move. Uh-oh. The windows were closed and the blinds were drawn. It must have been stuffy and hot in the apartment. I lay on the couch shivering. I held my chest to a sweater Grace had left. You know what would have really sold it? If, like, Anna was at the door, knocking on the door, and then Jack just comes up and and all of Grace's clothes, pretending to be Grace just to mess with her. That would have been, like, peak humor. Though that would have ruined the story completely. But the thought of it is just freaking hilarious. My heart skipped a beat before the sight of the person coming in the door disappointed me. Hello? Jack? I stared at her. What's wrong? Stare. She tried to get me to talk, but I was not in a talking mood. Eventually, she found the letter on the table, pretended to find it. Oh, Jack. Oh, darling, go away. You're hurt, I know. She's terrible, isn't she, to hurt you so badly? This lady's genius. The sweater was soft against my skin. It smelled of her. I know, she's awful. Let me help. She brought her hand near to my face. I turned my head away. I'm the one that can make you happy, you know. You won't have to remember that girl ever again. You won't, ha- you don't, won't want to, I promise. Her hand found my cheek. It had only been 2 days since I've seen Grace had last touched her, but it was like I had already forgotten a person's worth. I raised my hand to bat hers away, and I found that I couldn't do it. Instead, I put my hand on hers. I was close to tears. There were so many emotions in me that confused and overwhelmed me. But Anna was here, and she was whispering that she'd never leave. We made love there on the couch. Oh, I did not expect him to go that route. Um, that's shocking. But hey, whatever floats your boat, dude. After I used the okay, this is just like insult to injury on Grace, and I love it. Afterwards, I used the sweater to wipe the sweat off of me. Anna lay next to me, soft and warm, both her arms wrapped around one of mine. In the morning, after the long night, Anna looked at me and asked me a question. I'm tired, aren't you? Uh-huh. I won't go to work today. I'll call in sick. What about you? Oh no, I won't go to work. I hadn't thought at all about work. It was so irrelevant. Yeah, I wish I could do that. It would be bad, though. That's a good idea. Hey, I'm going to my apartment. I want to have a nice hot shower. Come with? Sure, yes. My apartment had a perfectly working shower, of course, but I didn't want to be by myself. I was scared. So he's dealing with trauma, and Anna is the first person to give him attention, so she's basically like a rebound for dude. After I had a shower at her place, Anna told me that I could stay with her Stay there for a while. Until you feel better, she told me. What are you saying? I said yes, and that's how it went. Ooh. I don't feel shame for what I did. I know I should, but I don't. The problem is I don't really feel like I did any of that. It's more like I was watching myself do those things, watching myself get tricked and cheat on Grace and live with that woman who's caused so much misery to so many people. I know I should be ashamed. It's a disgusting thing that I did, and I can't take it back. I let myself be made into an animal. The one whole month is something I'd like to forget and never to remember. So I won't write about it or anything more. I've written enough. I'm done. This journal's helped me a lot, but I don't need it anymore. And this is then. It's goodbye. So goodbye, JF. I woke up, found the room dark, incredibly dark. It didn't matter if my eyes were open or closed. The image didn't change. Something wasn't right. The air smelled different. What in the hell? Grace made a soft moaning sound in her sleep. She laid next to me. I reached down to make sure she was absolutely there. Jack. Oh. To hear her voice instead was like finding a snake in my bed. I almost fell over the nightstand. Are you okay? Bad dream? Stay at. She touched me skin to skin. I remember where I was and why I was there. Better? Yeah, sorry about that. Good. I settled back on soft. Anna ruffled my hair. You startled me. I didn't mean to. It's okay. I know you wouldn't do that. Because you love me. This chick is giving me the heebie-jeebies and I love it. Dear Diary, it's all been worth it. All the years of waiting and hoping have been so worth it. I never expected to go as well as it did. Now I feel so silly I ever worried. Grace the whore is out of the picture. It was easy. She is so scared of everything and Jack is all mine. I expected he would struggle a lot more. I'm so proud of him. Even in the terrible state he's in, no memories of us at all. He knew in his heart he should pick me over her. You're so cute, Jack. That way you're absolutely helpless without me. I'll pamper you a little more. I can do that. There's no hurry, no rush. We've reached our happy ending. I paced around Anna's bedroom. Step, 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 step. Turn. Step, 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 step. Turn. It wasn't a very large room, about the same size as mine, and step, 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 step. Turn. It was dark. The curtains were drawn, but it would have been dark without them too. The alarm clock's neon green lights hovered in the darkness showed that it was 5:10 a.m. and that it was a Monday. Step, step, step. Anna's bed sheets rustled. She mumbled something and sat up. Jack, why are you? I took in a deep breath. It helped me keep my voice from shaking as I answered. It's nothing. Go back to sleep. What is it? Something's wrong, isn't it? Tell me. I'll make it go away. And she's probably very literal about that. No, please. It's stupid. Tell me. I stepped closer to the bed and banged my chin on its side. It's Monday. This lady would make, like, Mondays go away if this dude wanted it. I guarantee, like, there wouldn't be another Monday ever. Yep, it is. So, I have work. I came back to an empty apartment. It was early Friday morning. I missed work on Friday. I must be on thin ice already. I didn't even call in, and just don't go. But if I don't go in today, they'll fire me for sure. So, what do you mean? So, this is serious. Don't be upset here. And I got up lazily and kissed me and held me. We stood there for a few moments in silence. There, doesn't it seem more better now? But I still, no, sweetie, you stay in today. She pressed herself harder against me. I felt her softness, the heat of her body. I could hardly feel anything else. You don't want to go to work, do you? I don't, but I mean, I have to. You don't have to. It'll be fine. The world won't end. I was going to complain once again, but she pressed her finger to my lips. You know what? An idea just came to me. If you move out of that awful apartment and come live here with me instead, you won't have to work in that awful store anymore either. That sounds nice, doesn't it? It sounded so good, and understood me so well, but I wasn't sure of myself. I asked if I was really fine for me to stay. Fine for me to stay here for good, of course. I wouldn't want you anywhere else. This is wild. Dear Diary. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. How's it going so well? It never worked well so before. Not with the what? Not with the patients I tried it on, even though they were terminal. Even though they had no one to visit them, all of them kept being themselves right up to the end. But with Jack, I could do anything. He's like clay. Oh, there's spam in the chat. But he's like clay. I could change him into anyone, anything I want. How awful. He's so lucky that it's me doing this. Could you imagine someone else with this kind of responsibility? No, no, no. What am I saying? No one else can make him so willing to change. Me. Only me. He's only like this because he loves me so much. He's always loved me, even when he didn't realize it. And he'll always love me, and I'll always love him, and we'll be together forever, forever. Ah, I'm so happy I could scream. Right now, I'm only teasing him a little, but that's okay. We all have the time in the world. Unlike those other boys, he's not about to expire. Days went by, maybe a week. Jack? Come on, Jack. I laugh. If you don't let go of me, I can't go to work, you know. Then don't go. Stay here. Hey, one of us has to go. We need to live. I need you to live. Mm-hmm. That's very sweet, but I still have to go. I wouldn't budge. She ran her fingers through my hair, and I like that. If you get off me now, I promise I'll have a special surprise for you when I come back. Really? Really? I promise. Okay. I forced myself to let her go. After she went away, I laid back down on the bed. I waited for her to come back. I did nothing else. Oh wow. This is a messed up situation. Anna's surprise was a big plastic bag. It was swollen full of something. I looked at her, then at it, then at her again and frowned. You'll see. Come. We need to go somewhere. Go outside? Yes. Isn't that exciting? I looked away. What, you don't want to? I held up my phone in front of me. It was meant to act as a barrier. Oh, you big scaredy cat. Come on. I wouldn't go. Her grip was strong, or maybe I got weak, but I stayed in place. Huh. So you really don't want to go. Let's... how come we can't just stay here? Oh, sweetie. I don't want the apartment to burn down. Oh. She made me dress in outside clothes, and they were rugged and cold. The outside was even more rugged and cold. The street was wet. It must have rained. The people that were giving me looks, they were looking at me like I was trash. What? Why? What have I done to them? What have I ever done to anyone? Oh, hey. Ease up a little bit. You'll hurt my hand. I'm sorry. It's okay. You really don't feel like it, we can go back home right now. Really? Yes. But I know you can do this. So will you do it for me? Yeah, okay. Great. Thank you, Jack. You're so good to me. What in the world is going on? We walked for over 15 minutes. My feet hurt, my legs made clicking sounds. I hadn't really walked in over a week, but I didn't complain. We're almost there. Do you know where we are? I shook my head. Anna led me somewhere I'd never been. Each street we passed was dirtier and grayer and more abandoned than the last, and the people looked at us all the more meanly. I thought they were going to hurt us, but Anna wasn't afraid, so I did my best to be brave too. Whatever she had in the plastic bag, it wasn't heavy. The bag was so full of it, it's almost shaped like a big ball, but it still swung so lightly. Is it Grace's head? I don't know why I think Grace's head. I don't know. Want to guess? I didn't. I told her I didn't. I have a bad feeling about this. I told her I couldn't think of anything. Oh well, you'll see soon enough. Our destination I saw 5 minutes later was an empty street. A whole street, blocks and blocks of it, completely abandoned. The pavement was cracked, the buildings that stood were still hollow. Everything was overgrown with weeds. It was more of a jungle than a city street. It was ugly. I hated to even look at it. Isn't it so beautiful? Yeah. I'll show you the best spot here. It's my favorite, but it'll be our secret, okay? You can't tell anyone else. Okay. We passed through a tunnel-like opening set in a tall, wide building. Beyond it was a field of brown yellow grass that came up to my chest. Surrounding the grass were the sides of large apartment buildings that used to be its courtyard. The building was a molted, ugly gray. It had almost likely been a prettier color before it burned down. Hey there, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I just seen your chat, sorry. I'm just in the middle of this killer love stream. So I hope you like visual novels. Sometimes I do Grand Theft Auto RP and stuff like that. I go back and forth kind of. So I'm just doing this. I got my work week starts tonight, so I'm pretty much gonna be busy until like Saturday or Sunday ish, probably. The building was a molted, ugly gray. It had almost likely been a prettier color before it burned down. It had so many windows, none of which had glass in them. They gaped down at us, empty and dark. Gaped down at us, sorry. In a spot was a square patch of concrete in the middle of the overgrown courtyard. Once there, Anna handed me something from the plastic bag. It was a small gas canister and a box of matches. Then she emptied the rest of the bag on the concrete. When I saw the contents, my chest tightened and started to hurt. Anna, this is on the ground were a few post-it notes, a pair of shoes, but mostly clothes. I'd seen them before. They belonged to someone I knew. Who? Someone I had known an eternity ago, too long to remember. Oh, this is getting dark. But I knew these things were important. You know what this is? Yes. I shouldn't? It's fine if you still recognize them. Completely fine. You're not mad? I'm not mad. Oh, I think she was mad. I just like noticed her eyes. They were kind of long. Give me that. Anna grabbed the gas canister from my hands. She poured the gas onto the clothes, shoes, and post-it notes down to the last drop. Then she tossed the canister aside and stepped away. The canister made a tiny empty sound as it hit the concrete. Tunk tunk. I like that sound effect. Tunk tunk. Um, after that there was silence. Anna, should I? What do you think you should do? Are you really not mad? Do what you think you need to do, Jack. And do it quickly. It's growing dark and I didn't bring a flashlight. So, I did what I thought I needed to do. I lit a match. It took me 3 tries to get it right because of my clumsy fingers. Cradling the little fire with my hands, I brought it over to her things. They were wet and stank of gasoline. I held the lit match above them. Why are you hesitating? Don't you want to do this? I don't know. I needed to do what Anna wanted me to do, but the thought of doing it made me want to lie down and cry. I couldn't explain why those things were so dear to me. They just were. The flame had almost reached my fingers. I don't do it. You see her eyes up there kind of getting a little bit crazy. I dropped the match. The little fire touched the gasoline and bloomed. Sudden heat made me step back. Those things, those shoes and the little notes were already cracking and turning into charcoal. Anna stood by me. I waited for her to scold me, but she didn't. She put her hand in mine and our fingers interlocked. You did well. I did? Yes. When it came down to it, you did what you should do. I'm proud of you. A warmth. Oh my god, this is so. This lady's crazy. A warmth filled my chest. My worry for those scattered pieces of nothing on the ground faded away. I was with the love of my life, and she loved me and was proud of me. How could I care about some? I couldn't even remember what it had been anymore. Old clothes? Whatever. Anna giggled. Ha ha ha. Oh god, that's. Here's those eyes again. Ha ha. I'm not even gonna try that one. It made me glad to see Anna happy. I don't think she's happy. I think she's happy she got like her crime taken care of. After a good minute laughing, she sighed as if spent and looked up at me. Wasn't it fun? Yep. Things on the ground are already gone out. They were black and unrecognizable. Let's go back home. Okay, Anna. You're so happy, aren't you? And why wouldn't you be? I'm happy too. The happiest I've ever been. Me too. The happiest I've ever been. Really? Yep. Thank you, Jack. It means the world to me. We went away hand in hand. But before we walked out of the grass again, I looked back one more time at the things I had burned. Something moved at the edge of my vision, up in one of the glassless windows. I looked up again, but it was gone. This place is dangerous. Are there people here? You know what? There just might be. Bad people. We should get home as soon as we can. Yes, home, where it's safe. That little slut. Oh, she had a good look at us burning all that trash of hers. Jack burning it. God, I'm so proud of him. It hurts. I can't believe I miscalculated though. I thought Grace was gone for good. Oh no. But then there she was in our hallway asking where Jack was and what I'd done with him. Ooh. All this was Jack was right on the other side of the door. Can you imagine what would have happened if I wasn't there? She would have knocked on the door or rung the doorbell and she probably would have called out too. It would have scared Jack so badly I can't bear to think about it. Thankfully I wasn't wrong about everything to do with her. She hasn't called the police. I knew she wouldn't. I just didn't think she would come back at all. She was still scared as a little lamb. Her hands shook while she demanded I tell her what happened to Jack. He can't be in there, can he? She stepped forward, but when I put myself between the door and her, she backed off again. I wonder how she didn't pee herself. She was so scared. Jack doesn't want to see him. What are you doing? No one's seen him since I went away. It's like he disappeared. He's been here the whole time. God, what are you doing to him? Be quiet. She was making so much noise. I put a hand on her shoulder. I had seen as she had the guts to slap it away. She just stood there. Jack is perfectly fine. He's happy and he doesn't want to see you again. I know he probably hates me now, but at least let me see him. I had to at least see him again. So annoying. The loneliness has made her desperate, unpleasant. That's what being by yourself does. Look at dear Jack. We've only been together for a short while and he's already such a sweetheart. And he was so prickly before. If you see him now, he'll tell you he hates you. Do you really want that? No, I don't want that, but then go away. It's as simple as that, don't you think? Even someone like you should be able to understand that. Why are you so... I thought we were... She swallowed hard. I had to sing. Anna, please. Being alone. It's made you into a real B word. You know that? What? Or did it? Were you lonely after all? Really makes me wonder. With how little money you took with you, I was sure you'd be living on the streets, but you're clean. You don't smell more than usual. I'm living with a friend. Oh, what does that matter? Be fair, Jackson cheated on her anyway, so... That's a lie. You don't have any friends. And Grace gritted her teeth and glared at me. She wanted me to run away in shame. She's so simple, so obvious. She couldn't leave, but she couldn't leave with Jack so close. So where are you staying? Who's cock-a-doodle-doo? Are you sucking for real? I'm not. Is it that wrinkly old man you worked with? It's nothing like that. I'm living with oh. Okay, this is getting crazy. You don't have any money. You quit your job too. I checked. I'm not paying back anything. Don't be shy. Oh, screw you. Move. How violent. It's a good thing I separated her and Jack when I did. Any more of this girl's influence and who knows what could have happened. She tried to shove past me, but I had a little surprise in my back pocket. Anna, that's... Yep. I love those eyes right there. This is like pure terror. So don't you dare touch me again. I might do something bad. I pressed the knife against the side of her neck. It drew blood. I couldn't help myself, but it wasn't a lot. I'm not going to kill someone out in the open like that. I'm not stupid. Grace stood petrified. You can't do this. You'll call the cops. No, you won't. They won't believe you. They never do, right? She didn't lash out for once. She must have finally realized how useless it was to try. So was she actually with Dawn, the old man? Because that's kind of funny. Kind of messed up. I waved her off. If it's only polite. She didn't even look back. But then she kept following me around even after that. What a stalker. Jack. Oh my gosh. Burner things. I know she was watching. It was beautiful. Now she'll back off for good. I'm back. Welcome back. Hey, easy. You'll trip. The moment she touched me, those long hours of waiting were painted over by warmth. It made me so happy. Something smells good. Is it dinner? Yes. Oh, you remembered. So glad. I made a casserole. Anna set the table and I served it. That was really tasty, Jack. Thank you. I wasn't happy with the meal. It was tasteless and the meat was tough, but Anna said she liked it. She was so kind. I wish I could help more. What do you mean? With money, I guess. I was being serious, but she laughed. That made me feel a bit stupid. Oh, Jack, money's no problem at all. I already told you I got a lot saved up, and here the rent is nothing. Oh, okay. Anna hummed contentedly. A minute later, she stopped. There's something you can do, actually. Really? Yes, really. But I'm not sure if you'd be up to it. Anything. I'll do anything for you. Okay, then. What is it? How can I help? Wait until before bedtime, okay? I nodded. Oh, Lord. When I heard what she wanted me to do, I didn't take it well. I was angry, furious. I felt betrayed. You want me to? Yes, I do. But no, you said you were. I never had to remember anything. You promised. Oh, how could you lie like that? Oh, baby, please don't hate me. I was shivering with anger. I thought I might faint, but I didn't hate her. I couldn't. So I stopped walking and faced her. I know what I said, but this is important. Don't you believe me? There was only one thing I could do. Yeah, only one thing I could say. I believe you. Thank you, Jack. I love you. I love you too. And I'm sorry. Don't say you're hearing Anna say she was sorry was for some reason like a punch to the gut. It tugged at my memory. She was said, "No, but that's not what I'm telling you to remember. You must never remember that woman. Forget all you have left of her." Okay, this is wholesome then. What I want you to recall goes much further back. It won't be easy, but when you do, when you remember our love will be the deepest it's ever been. Don't you want that? I do. I love you. I want that. I want to love you even more. Tell me what I should remember. Anna embraced me with happy tears in her eyes, but she wouldn't tell me what I needed to remember. She said it would be pointless if she told me I had to remember it all by myself. Anna ordered me to sit down in front of the alarm clock every day for at least an hour. I was able to do this while she was at work. I was to have my eyes closed. I was to try to dig back in my memories far, far back. I did as ordered. But the first time I tried, the very next day it was all so foggy my mind couldn't even start. Things felt slow, like it was walking through molasses, only made myself tired. Before I fell asleep, sitting up one last time, a thought came to me. Was thinking always so hard? The second time, I gave up right away. I couldn't do it, but I had promised Anna. The next day, I tried harder. My head hurt and felt like I was groping in the dark, scared and all alone, but I did it. I'd promised Anna. I waited further in. Oh no. I flashed a smile, made my chest hurt, but I kept going. For love. Huh? Which one did I love? Which one did I hate? Things didn't used to be this way, did they? This feels wrong. Something went terribly wrong. I need to make sense of it. Oh, everything got kind of red. Days later, while going back in my memory, I reached a wall, a dam. I felt like I shouldn't try to climb over it, so I didn't. There were things out there I didn't want to see, so I went back to the puddle that I've been searching through. It was a sea of love and fear and hate and given and taken seeming at random. It was a mess, but it was a mess in my head. I would make it make sense. I really love this story. Jack. Yes, Anna. I'm going to work. Aren't you going to say bye? Oh, bye, Anna. And a goodbye kiss? We kissed. Anna placed a hand on my forehead. Are you okay? You might have a fever. I can give you something for that. I smiled. I'm okay. It's just trouble. You can tell me anything. Do you know that sandwich shop? Which one? Next to where I... Next to the store? Yeah. You want a sandwich from there? Yeah. If that's okay. Well, there is always a huge line there. Please, Anna. It would mean a lot to me. Oh, how can I resist? Of course, darling. I'll get you anything. What kind of sandwich you want? Anything you pick. I'll get you something light. You're not getting much exercise. I don't want you to get fed. This is crazy. Is that alright? Yep. Great. And don't forget your remembering session. You've been doing those, right? Yeah. And? I frowned and shook my head. Nothing yet. Well, it's not even 2 weeks yet. You'll get there soon enough, I bet. Yeah, I will. Anna pinched my cheek, kissed me again, and left. And I went and threw up in the toilet. Oh God. I brushed my teeth and washed my mouth 3 times over. I can't go on like this. I couldn't keep living here. So, does he remember? I waited 10 minutes until I was sure Anna was gone. Then I pulled back the heavy curtains. Down on the street, there was a single person looking sad and abandoned. I waved at her. She looked up, nodded, and walked into the building. Is it gonna be Anna? Hi, Jack. Oh, Grace. So he does remember. He faked not. Oh, wow. No wonder he gets injured. This is pretty wild. We started seeing each other again in secret 5 days ago. I knew how long exactly I'd start counting the days again. That big cloud of confusion on my brain was gone. I would say he wasn't faking. He did remember. I wasn't Anna's dog anymore. I was Anna's own fault. What else could she have expected having me dig around in my past like that? But it was scary how close I come to letting go. If things were a bit different, I might have kept on being half-mute idiot forever, and I never would have let Grace inside. When I first heard Grace's voice again, I thought I finally snapped. I thought I was hallucinating, but I opened the door and there she was. Grace, I'm so happy to see you. I thought, after your message, I thought I'd never. Don't say that. Don't say anything just for a minute. Oh. We've only been apart for a few weeks, but so many things had happened that it felt like years. I knew it. You don't hate me. I didn't know what she was talking about, and I didn't really care. Only one thing mattered right now. Let's go. Let's get out of here. I've been working up the courage to leave ever since I had become myself again. As stupid as it seemed, I was afraid of going outside. But with Grace, here I could live, could leave, I could do anything. We can't. Huh? You're not going to leave here. Not yet. Why not? Do you have an idea what it's like for me in here? I can't imagine, Jack. And I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. You know how dangerous Anna was right from the start, and that's all the more reason to get the hell away. I told you. Not yet. This isn't something we can run away from. I so wish we could just pack up and leave, but Anna's gonna follow us wherever we go. Gosh darn it. I stomped on the ground like an angry child. Grace was right, and Anna had followed me here. If we left now, she'd do it again. What if we had to report her to the... No, Jack. No, please. They trust her first a million times over. I guess they would. Besides, I wasn't even sure she'd done anything illegal. Well, I mean, borderline kidnapping, but hey. But, what then? What do we do? I don't know. Why is this happening to us? Even as we talked, we kept our ears to the hallway. Though we both knew Anna was at work, the slightest echo of a footstep was enough to make us jump. Why can't she just leave us alone? What does she even want from you? I think I might have a clue. I told Grace about how Anna was trying to make her remember stuff from years ago. But it was so long ago, anything could have happened to make her obsessed with me. Jack? What? I'm sorry to say this. I know you always hated it when I did. What is it? I had a good feeling I know what she's saying. I didn't like it. You really do have to remember. I pinched the bridge of my nose, and this was a big headache coming on right behind the eyes. I know. We can't win against her like this. Not unless she knows so much more than we do. I know, alright? Do you think you can do it? I don't want to do it, but I think I can. I never tried. Not seriously, not since those first few days. Good, please do try. And thank you for not giving in, Jack. I know it must be hard. Do you need anything from the outside? I can sneak something in. I don't have a lot, but... No, I don't need anything. Anna keeps me well fed. Put as much contempt as I could into those words. Are you doing alright, though? You don't have any money, do you? I think Anna's got some stashed around here. Grace refused. We can't risk her noticing. Besides, I'm doing okay. I'm staying with a friend. They're a big help. Oh, alright then. So she landed on her feet. It made me happy to hear that. I'll be going now, Jack. Wait, already? And I won't be home for hours. She's not supposed to. We gotta be careful. And being here is making me nervous. I could die. Yeah, literally, you could die. Besides, we'll have plenty of time to spend together once this is over. Yeah, just us two. We looked at each other lovingly. Oh, no. Then our door slammed shut somewhere in the building. I really need to go. Yeah, I would run if I were you. I love you. I wonder if it was still okay for me to tell Grace I loved her, but the words went and said themselves. She stood on her tiptoes and kissed him on the cheek. I love you too. I'm just waiting for Anna to pop up on her. Locking the door after was one of the most difficult things I've ever done. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna end it here for today. Because I do have to go to work in a little bit, but there is gonna be a part three. Part three is probably gonna be the last part of it. I'm not. I think the game's like 8 chapters long or something. But I want to thank you guys for coming around and staying around and stuff like that. It was nice seeing people come in even this early. So have a good one, guys, and everybody take care. Bye bye.